Hey everybody, it is Emily. I am a licensed teacher, a special ed mom, and somebody who has watched our schools try to do more with less for far too long. Two big things happened over the last week, one in Washington and one here in Wisconsin, and they both matter a whole lot more than the headlines will tell us. Okay, so if we start with Washington, there has been a big political push to dismantle the Department of Education, and I know this sounds abstract, but here are actions they're taking right now that are very real. They are moving federal education programs into agencies that have never dealt with schools, like the Department of Labor. They are slowing or freezing funding while everything gets shuffled around out there. They are cutting staff who enforce civil rights for kids with disabilities, and they are weakening offices that make sure that states follow special ed law. Not good when we're trying to turn everything back to the states, apparently. And they're pulling apart the support systems that rural districts rely on to navigate federal rules. This isn't about streamlining. It is stripping away the infrastructure that keeps public schools, especially small rural ones, stable. And when you tear down that scaffolding, the weight is all going to fall directly on families, teachers and staff, and kids. And then here at home, we're told special education would finally be reimbursed at 42%. A historic investment is what they said during that budget cycle. But this week, we learned the real numbers from DPI, and it was 35%. That is 7 points short. That is millions of dollars short. And the gap doesn't just magically disappear. It gets pulled from the rest of the classroom because you pull what you can't cover from your special ed funding from your general ed fund. That means there are fewer aides, fewer specialists, bigger class sizes, more burnout, and more kids in special ed and regular classrooms not getting the support that they need. As a special ed mom, I know exactly what happens when services get delayed or cut. And as a teacher, I have lived with the strain of trying to cover gaps with nothing but duct tape and good intentions. None of this is new. It has been building for years, but the thing is that nobody's handling it. So we have to say this truth out loud. The way we've been doing things isn't working. And if Washington is going to strip away the federal safety nets that our schools rely on, you better have people in Madison who actually understand what classrooms are dealing with and won't stop fighting for them. We need people who know how special education funding works, people who have sat in IEP meetings, people who have had 30 kids in their classroom and very limited or no support, people who know what a missed reimbursement rate actually does to a district's budget. The stakes are too high for guesswork, for talking points, or politicians who have never set foot in the schools that they're underfunding unless it's for a photo op. I'm going to keep breaking this stuff down and pushing for support that our kids deserve, because if we're not going to stand up for them, who will?